So this video is going to take you through the basics of metrics. We're going to talk some about the types of units we're going to use and what are the different prefixes and prefixes we're going to use that will allow us to easily convert metrics from one prefix to another and why we would want to do stuff like that. So first off, our metric base units that are important. You have grams are going to be our base unit for mass, seconds for time, liters for volume, meters for distance, watts for energy usage, joules for energy itself. And all these are really important because we're going to want to use these as a standard and the base, what's called the base zero for all of our units. And then we're going to increase everything by factors of 10. So that's a great part about metrics. It's all about powers of 10. We can easily convert from one unit to another because every unit is changed by a factor of 10 or maybe by a factor of 1,000 when we get into larger units. So just kind of taking you through that list here you can see the full breakdown of all the different units that are available, and it goes up pretty high. Okay, so you have your base down here is the 10 to the 0, but as soon as if you have 10 of that base unit, well, now you can have a deca of something. And then if you have 100 of that base unit, you can have a hecto of something. 1,000 of it would be a kilo of something. And then things start to change a little bit. Initially, is going up by a factor of 1 in the exponent every single time. So you can see the first one's 10 to the first, then 10 to the second, then 10 to the third. But now we're going up by 10 to the sixth, 10 to the ninth. So every one of these is going up by a factor of 1,000. So it's 1,000 times greater for the extra units. Some of you might recognize the next ones like mega, giga, tera, peta. Okay, if you're into computers, okay, those are megabytes, your gigabytes, your terabytes, your petabytes. Okay, when you get into really large sums of data. Going the other direction, if you have 1/10 of something or 10 to the -1 of it, you have a deci of that. Okay, or down to 10 to the -2, you're down to centi. Then you go down to milli. Okay, again, those first three are going down by only a factor of 10. So deci is 1/10, centi is 1/100th, milli is 1/1000th. Okay, but then you can see you have a big jump. Your next one is micro. That's where you jump down by a factor of 1,000. And for each of those going down, you see you're jumping down again by a factor of 1,000 every single time, meaning you're 1/1000th smaller than the previous measurement, okay, or the previous prefix. Okay, so granted, you have all these things, but we don't really need all those. We're not going to use most of those. We're going to stick mostly in this range from kilo to milli. Okay, you should know micro. Okay, you're going to use it a lot next year and the following year in biology, in chemistry. And mega and giga are good to know, just good to understand, but we're not going to use those a lot. We're going to take most in that kilo to milli range, where everything does change by a factor of 10. So if you look here, you can kind of see that. So here we might have our base unit, say it is meters, and then our 10, if we have 10 meters, we have a decameter. And to abbreviate deca, you're going to use a DA. Okay. Hecta would be the next one, meaning you have 100 meters. 100 meters is 1 hectometer, or 1 HM. Kilo is 1,000 meters, or 1 kilometer. Okay. Going the other way, now deci is a unit that actually gets used some more than deca, so it gets the D designation for deci. So 1/110th of a meter is a decimeter. Centimeters are 1/100th of a centimeter, 1/100th of a meter. That's why in a meter stick, there's 100 centimeters in 1 meter stick. So if you get a meter stick, it's going to look like that because each centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. Think about it as 100 cents in a dollar, 100 years in a century, okay, that kind of thing. So centi is that 1/100th prefix. And then milli, that is going to be mm. Again, that's going the other, it's still getting smaller by a factor of 10. So that's 1,000 millimeters per meter. Okay. The nice thing there is everything's changing by a factor of 10. And you think about it, remember, if you have something, say you have 5 and you divide it by 10, well, you get 0.5. You divide that by 10, you get 0.05, okay? Um, so for every one of these changes, all we're really doing is shifting the decimal point one way or the other. And we're going to take advantage of that to do our quick conversions this year.